Woo! What's going on, guys? Orange Form coming at you with another video. Sorry I'm a day late on this one, but this is the aftermath, week 14. Packers at Lions, Thursday night football. Lions win this one 31-34 in a close one again. Lions going up to 12-1. Packers falling to 9-4. Another Lions victory, another division win, 4-0 in the division so far, which is huge. The Lions come up big at the end of this one. Some different things happening in this game that we'll get into. But injuries, we'll talk about injuries in-game and inactives and stuff that right away. Packers, in-game, they lost safety rookie Evan Williams, concussion. Another rookie safety, Javon Bullard, with an ankle. And then defensive end Lucas Van Ness had a thumb injury. Don't know if these guys ever came back. I don't think they did. But they had a couple guys out as well, too. So cornerback Jair Alexander was out with a knee. Rookie linebacker Edgar and Cooper with a hamstring. Cornerback Corey Ballantyne with a knee injury. And then wide receiver Romeo Doubs with a concussion, all inactive. The Lions, we did lose defensive tackle Aleem McNeil with a concussion. He did return, but he then left again. Don't know if it was a concussion, neck injury, because I'm hearing different things, but I'm assuming it's a concussion. And then safety Brian Branch was in and out a little bit in this game too. He kept getting cramps, problems with his calf. I'm sure he'll be okay. We got 10 days of rest. Hopefully him and McNeil will be back, and a couple other guys as well. Losing left tackle, obviously Taylor Decker with a shoulder, nose tackle DJ Reader, shoulder, defensive end Josh Pascal, knee, D lineman Levi and Muzirike with a hamstring, all inactive for this football game. So, injuries on both sides of the team. Got, with our team, 18 guys on IR. More than half of those guys are defensive guys that actually contribute. I know some of those guys on IR were probably not going to be contributors this year, but we have lost a lot of players. Over 20 plus guys hurt too as well. So we're feeling the sting, but we're pulling out these wins. Now let's get to the stats. Offensively, we start with the Packers because they have the road team. Quarterback Jordan Love was 12 for 20, 60% completion percentage, 206 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interception. He was sacked only one time. Some pressures on him a little bit, but he played horribly in the first half, played much better in the second half. We'll get to that. Rushing, running back Josh Jacobs had 18 carries for 66 yards. He had 3 touchdowns, though, 3.7 yards per carry. He looked pretty good. Wasn't really gashing us for big runs. He had a couple decent runs, but all his touchdowns were short. But he is a load. 3 touchdowns, that's a nice day. And quarterback Jordan Love was 4 carries for 23 yards at 5.8 yards a pop. We held the team to under 100 yards, 99 yards to be exact. So I thought the defense did a pretty good job. Receiving, wide receiver Christian Watson led the team with 4 catches for 114 yards, 28.5 yards a catch, 7 targets. He did have a fumble and a fumble loss too as well. Wide receiver Dontavian Wicks had 4 catches, 49 yards, 12.3 yards a catch, 5 targets. Tight end Tucker Kraft had 3 catches, 41 yards, and a touchdown, 13.7 yards a catch on 5 targets. Wide receiver, their best wide receiver on the team. I don't know. Wasn't really arguing with a Green Bay Packer fan, but he was trying to tell me that Jaden Reed only played like 25 snaps in this game. I think there was over 50-something snaps altogether on defense for the Packers. So I don't know if Jaden Reed got hurt. I don't know what, during that game. I didn't hear nothing about it. I saw nothing about it on the post-game reports or anything. I just thought they did a good job on him. He got targeted once. He had 0 catches for 0 yards. I think he's their best wide receiver. Now, Christian Watson can show up, but this Packer fan was trying to tell me that they prefer Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson. Well, Romeo Doubs didn't even play. So if someone's out there and they know, did Jaden Reed just get locked up by Terry and Arnold and Carlton Davis or Amik Robertson, whoever was in him, because he does play in a slot a ton? Did he just get locked up? What happened? Did he get hurt? 1 target? He is their best wide receiver. We can argue that. We can argue that Christian Watson probably has a better, I don't know, he could be better, but Jaden Reed is their most productive wide receiver and has been for the last couple of years. So explain to me, 0 catches, 0 yards, man, targeted once. So he had to have been hurt, or he just get locked up. What was it? So defensively, linebacker Isaiah McDuffie did have 15 tackles. Linebacker Quay Walker had 10 tackles and a tackle for loss. Cornerback Keyshawn Nixon, 10 tackles, 2 pass breakups, and an interception. Defensive tackle Kenny Clark had 8 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. Safety Xavier McKinney had 7 tackles, kept the ball away from him, good. Defensive tackle Devontae Wyatt had 4 tackles and a quarterback hit. Defensive tackle Colby Wooden had 4 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. Defensive end Rashad Gary had 3 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 2 quarterback hits, and a sack. Covington Valentine had 1 tackle and a pass breakup. So, yeah, man, it's a good defense. I thought, we gained a lot of yards on them. We gained some yards on them. I thought we did a pretty good job against that defense all around. But they got some of their guys came out to play. McDuffie had a nice day. Quay Walker's a good linebacker. Keyshawn Nixon got his first interception. So, that's a good defense, but, we did score a lot of points on them. Now let's do the Lions. Quarterback Jared Goff. Offense first. He's 32 for 41. 78% completion percentage. He looked really good throwing the football all day, I thought. Made one bad throw to Keyshawn Nixon, who kind of stepped in front of it. It was actually a good play. Goff shouldn't have thrown it, though, because he was a little close to his target. I think he was trying to hit Amon-Ra. I could be wrong. But he had 283 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. He was sacked once as well, too. So once or twice. I thought Goff played great. I thought he played great, and he should be back in that MVP at least conversation. He should be in the conversation. Rushing the ball. We didn't have a lot of success running the ball today. Did get in the end zone once, though. Running back David Montgomery was 14 carries for 51 yards and a touchdown, 3.6 yards a carry. Running back Jahmyr Gibbs had 15 carries for 43 yards. Very even keel, with 2.9 yards a carry. Probably one of his worst outings, but he did go over 1,000 yards. Congratulations, young man. Over 1,000 yards for Jay Gibbs. And then wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown had 1 carry for 10 yards. 111 yards altogether as a unit. Still productive, getting in the end zone, doing stuff like that. Thought they did an okay job, but Goff kind of took over this football game more, I thought anyways. Then receiving, wide receiver Jamison Williams had 5 catches for 80 yards on 16 yards a catch, 8 targets. They were trying to get him going. I thought he had a nice day. Got some big first downs for us. Tight end Sam Laporta had a nice day. 5 catches, 54 yards, 10.8 yards a pop, 7 targets. Wide receiver Tim Patrick, coming out party for Tim Patrick, man. 6 catches, 43 yards, 7.2 yards a pop, 2 touchdowns on 7 targets. He had a very nice day. He's proving game in, game out that he can be that reliable third wide receiver 3. And I'm loving it. Wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown, 5 catches, 43 yards. Didn't have a big day. 8.6 yards a catch on 5 targets. Running back David Montgomery had 5 catches, 33 yards, 6.6 yards a catch, 5 targets. Running back Jahmyr Gibbs, 6 catches for 30 yards, 5 yards a pop. Did have a touchdown too as well on 6 targets. And what you notice there is Montgomery and Gibbs, they didn't really get the running game going, but you know what Ben Johnson did? He used the short passing game as an extension to the running game, which I love, which I absolutely love. 11 catches between Montgomery and Gibbs for over 66 yards. 63 yards and a tutty. So, when the running game's not going, you still want to get your running backs involved, and you got 2 running backs that can catch the ball. And we love the screen. The screenplay works very well on this football team. It's one of the best in the NFL, if not the best. And Ben Johnson knew he couldn't get his run game going. He was just struggling a little bit, but he got him going in the passing game in a short extension. As kind of an extension from the running game, just giving him short passes. So I love that too as well. Then defensively, linebacker Jack Campbell had 8 tackles and a quarterback hit. Defensive end El Quadra Mohammed had 4 tackles, a QB hit. Safety Kirby Joseph for 4 tackles. Brian Branch had 4 tackles and a tackle for loss. Cornerback Carlton Davis III had 3 tackles, a pass breakup, and a forced fumble. Defensive end Miles newcomer, 3 tackles, quarterback hit. Linebacker Trevor Nowatzki, 3 tackles, quarterback hit. Defensive end Zadarius Smith, 2 tackles, tackle for loss, QB hit, and a sack. Linebacker David Long Jr., 1 tackle, a fumble recovery. Linebacker Ezekiel Turner, 1 tackle, QB hit. He made a great play on Jordan Love around the end of that football game. It was third and goal. They flushed Jordan Love out. The defense, Jordan Love was coming around trying to get to the end zone, because it was third and goal. I believe they had a penalty, so it kind of pushed them back. Ezekiel Turner made a great play and tackled Jordan Love in the open space. So that was a great play by Ezekiel Turner, a guy that they just got off the streets not too long ago. Then defensive end Jonah Williams had a QB hit as well. So shout out to players like Jamal Adams, who had a tackle as well. Quan Alexander had a couple tackles. Mitchell Agude got called up from the practice squad, a tackle. Pat O'Connor looked like he played really well. He was really getting off the snap really quick. Tackle. David Long Jr., I said, with a fumble recovery and a tackle. Ezekiel Turner. And all contributing in this football game. A makeshift defense going on right now in Detroit. It is. We played great in the first half. They kind of got to us in the second half. Got to us a lot, actually. And then Jake Bakes he went 2 for 2 with a field goal long, 43. Game winner, 2 as well. 4 extra points added to that as well. So Jake Bates is money in the bank right now. Let's talk about the team stats real quick. Then we'll try to get into a little bit of the game. Try and get it fast over. Packers first. First downs, they had 17. They were 1 for 5 on third downs. 0 for 0 on fourth down. Never went for it. 99 yards rushing, 199 yards passing. Total yards, 298. They did have a sack for 3 yards. Lost. Interceptions thrown, 0. The Packers punted 3 punts for 41.7 yards a punt. They had 7 penalties for 59 yards. And they had 1 fumble and 1 lost as well. And then us, we had 27 first downs. The Lions, we were 7 for 15 on third downs. 4 for 5 on fourth downs, and we'll get into that in a minute. 111 yards rushing, 280 yards passing, total yards 391. Sacks, we had 1 sack for 7 yards lost. Interceptions thrown, Goff did throw 1. Punts, 2 punts for 46 yards per average. We had 7 penalties for 56 yards. And fumbles lost, we had 0 and 0. So no fumbles, nothing lost. Now let's get into this game real quick, and we'll talk about the next game, or we'll just mention it. This game was, just one of those games where first half it looked like it was going to be not a blowout, because I think it was I believe it was 16 or 19-7 going into the half. Thought the Lions played well on offense. Love wasn't doing anything. Jacobs might have gotten the end zone in the first half, but he wasn't running all over us. We were playing good football, I thought. It was a really, it looked like Detroit was going to, win this game. But when I was watching this football game, I was a little bit worried about the second half because, it always seems like guys kind of get us in the second half. Not beat us, but just things always turn. Even in any football game, not just a Lions game. That usually it's not going to be like the first half. And I just, I had a feeling Greenbay was going to maybe get a fire under their ass a little bit and come out swinging. And they did. They came out swinging in the second half and played great. I thought Love played much better. Josh Jacobs was running hard still. Even though he didn't add a lot to the yards, his total yards, he did get in the end zone 3 times. So I thought our offense played well. I thought our defense played really good in the first half. Second half, they kind of broke down, which I was a little bit expecting. We got guys contributing on defense that should have no business even being in the NFL right now. We got guys that are from practice squads getting pulled off practice squads, other teams' practice squads. Guys that have some experience, though, especially like Jonah Williams, maybe Miles Adams, obviously Quan Alexander and Jamal Adams. Those guys all contributing. Adams almost had a sack. Adams almost had a sack yesterday. I believe Zadarius got to him first. But those guys are contributing. They just got here. They just got here, and they're only going to get better. There's a highlight reel of Miles Adams, I think, who made it. Guy that works for the NFL Network with the crooked finger. I can't. He used to play an offensive lineman. I like his analogies, by the way, when he talks football. He breaks it down for you and everything. Baldinger. Baldinger's his last name. I can't remember his first name. Brian Baldinger, but it doesn't matter, man. He did a little breakdown, it was a little 30-second clip, minute, whatever it was, showing some snaps from Miles Adams. And it was like he made some plays. He was pushing around the old lineman a little bit, made a big play a couple times on the goal line, got a tackle or two. He's contributing. You know, this guy that hasn't had a lot of time playing in the NFL. Been around a little bit, though. He's been around a little bit in the NFL. But, you know, he's contributing right now as a Lion. And they have to. We don't have any choice. Guys like Jonah Williams getting in there, getting their beak wet. You know what I mean? On a new football team. But, you know, I thought it was an all-around good game. It was a shootout in the second half. I thought Goff stepped it up in the second half. You know, some guys, Tim Patrick. And then it comes down to Dan Campbell, okay? I've never seen a set of balls on a guy like this guy has ever in as long as I've been watching football. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are still kind of like shaking their head about what Dan Campbell did the other day, what he did Thursday night. I'm here to tell you, man, I loved it. Now, I didn't agree with him going for it on his own 30. Going for it on 4th and inches or 2 or whatever it was. I didn't like the play call to begin with. I despised the play call. Okay? I'll be honest with you. I didn't like the play call. Kind of like that weird pitch that they do with Gibbs. He got shut down. I think he lost a yard. He lost a yard or two. Now that wasn't a good play at all. I don't think it was. I don't agree with it, but who am I? I'm nobody. Just giving you my opinion because Green Bay scored on that play. It made it look even worse. But we were 4 for 5 on 4th downs. Now, this is the way Dan Campbell is going to do this. Now, at the end of the game, when there was like 45, 50 seconds, whatever it was, people were screaming, why isn't he kicking the ball? Why is he going for it? I'll tell you. I'll tell you why. And you got guys on ESPN like Emmanuel Acho and all that stuff, man, running their mouth, saying that Dan Campbell's going to cost them in the future. I think Acho was saying something along the lines of, it's Jordan Love. What are you afraid of? Did you see how Jordan Love was playing in the second half? And he's trying to compare him to Mahomes, saying it's not Patrick Mahomes. We know he's not Patrick Mahomes. But they were moving the ball on us extremely well in the second half. They were moving the ball a little bit in the first half. It felt like. Not overly, you know, but it felt like they were just, you know, that they had their moments. And in the second half, they had more moments. It's not about being afraid. It's not about being afraid. It's coming down to football situations. These are professional athletes talking about this guy, which I don't understand. We know Jordan Love isn't Patrick Mahomes. The football situation was, though, you're given time to a quarterback who has the capability to drive down the field, and you don't have to drive very far. You don't have to get to the field very far, man. My guess is that Bates would have kicked the ball through the end zone, right, and gave the ball to them at the 30, and they would have had to probably drive another 40, 45 yards to get in field goal range for Brandon McManus for the Green Bay Packers, the kicker. That could easily have been done. I know they didn't have any timeouts, but if you saw the way the defense was playing in the second half, they were getting gassed. Detroit defense was getting gassed. And Campbell came out and he said it, but he didn't say it. He just said, I wanted to end it. He was like, I wanted to end that game. I didn't want my defense back out there. I wanted to end it. And he trusts this offense. We have one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. 2 of the best running backs in the NFL. Montgomery is a monster. Now, the play almost was disastrous when they went for it on fourth down with 50 seconds left. Goff fell down, got tripped up by Glasgow. His own player, by the way. So if you're coming at me with, Goff was kneeled down. The play should have been called dead. No. A, this isn't college football. Okay, it's not college football. B, it's the NFL. Your own player touched you doesn't mean you're down. Just because he's a quarterback doesn't mean he's down. Okay? The play can continue. Now, if it would have been a Packer that touched him or stepped on him and he fell down, play probably gets called whistled dead. But that's not the way it happened. So Goff got the handoff to Montgomery and he ran for like 10 yards. 8 to 10 yards, whatever it was. Big time first down. Iced out the game. Clock ran down to 2 seconds. Called the timeout. Bates with the game winner. Again. Beautifully done. Now, it's risky. It's extremely risky what he did at the end there. I thought the first one I was talking about, at the 30-yard line, I thought it was a little reckless. I thought that was reckless, but it was earlier. Okay, it was early, but I didn't like that call. And I get it. The other ones, though, two of those touchdowns were on fourth down, by the way, that Goff threw. One to Gibbs, one to Patrick. Now, if we're taking field goal kicks, we lose that game by more than 10 points. 10 points are over. I'll say it again and I'll make it crystal clear. Field goals will not win you football games if you're only kicking field goals. Now, you can win a game by kicking a field goal. Happens all the time. Happened Thursday night. But if you're only going to resort to just kicking field goals and thinking that you're going to win the game at the end, you're probably going to lose. Campbell knows this situation. He's not a dummy. He's not a meathead. He's smarter than you guys out there. He's smarter than me when it comes to football. He just is. But at least I know the situation. We have a makeshift defense that played really good in the first half. Second half, not so much. They played well in the run. Still gave up 3 tutties, though, on the ground. And we gave up some air yards. Not a lot, but they were moving the ball better in the second half. And they were scoring touchdowns. You know what I mean? Kraft had one. Who else got one for, and then I think it was Jacobs with 3 on the ground. So it's not like, and then they had another one. I think they had another one too as well. 1 touchdown, 3 on the ground. I forget, but a couple field goals, whatever they had. 31-34 Detroit Lions. But it doesn't matter. They were moving the ball better in the second half. And Campbell knew this. Campbell knows what we have on defense. I don't think he takes as many. I think he goes for it when we're deep into their end zone. On those touchdowns that Goff threw, I think he's going for it there. On the 30, if our defense was healthy and we're only down by 3, I don't think he goes for it. I really don't. I think he's been so much better this year with those decisions. Punting, taking the field goal. He trusts Jack Fox, the punter. He trusts Jake Bates. It's obvious. I don't think he does that. I don't think we go for it that many times. Maybe a few times in deep into Packers territory or even at 50 and beyond. But even that, if the ball just comes beyond the 50 and goes into Packer territory from the 50 and out and inside, everything changes. Goff, Campbell, they'll communicate. Goff and Campbell will communicate with the OC. What's our situation? Do you think we should go for it? But trust me, they're thinking about going for it a ton. But know the situation. You have to realize the situation at hand. Our defense is going to start giving up points. I predicted this game would be 33-36 for Detroit Lions. It was extremely close. I knew we needed to score 35 and up. We were damn close. We took 34. It's going to be like that. It's going to be like that with the Bills, too. You're going to need to score 35 and up, I think, to beat the Bills. It's a possibility. Could it happen? We'll talk about it later. But don't get on Dan Campbell. I didn't like the first one. I get it. I didn't like the one on the 30-yard line. It's understandable why Lions fans were upset. But the other ones, you don't go for it. You take the points. We probably lose that football game. Or we do lose that football game if you just take the points. So, Dan Campbell. I even told my buddy before the game, my buddy came over for the first half and was like, I go, expect Dan Campbell to show up tonight. He's like, really? I was like, he's gonna go for it. He's gonna piss off this fan base. Watch. He's gonna do it he's gonna do it once or twice. I think I might even mention something like that in my last video. But hey man, we won. It doesn't matter, it's over. Let's not talk about what could happen or anything like that, because him going for it last year, even in the playoffs, got us to the NFC Championship game against Tampa and against LA Rams. If you don't know, Google it. So that's it, guys. Game over. 34-31. Lions in first place. Up next, the Buffalo Bills, another tough one at Ford Field. 4:25 start. So if you're not used to 4:25 starts, get used to it now, because we got one coming up this Sunday. So thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button at the bottom right. Don't forget to hit the notification bell up top. Like, comment, share this out. This is a long one, 26 minutes. I appreciate it. Grit, Detroit versus everybody. Let's go. First place, baby. Boom.